You're wearing Bumblebee colors today.
I am. Thank you for noticing. Yes. I had to go into the summer bin for this.
Yeah, I bet.
Bumblebee. There is only one way to end this war. You must protect Earth and its people.
I think Bumblebee is my favorite of all the Transformers films.
Aw.
Because it's accessible, it's not loaded down with verbiage and explication, you have an accessible style, and I just think it's better for young people to understand and love and learn and
Thank you.
see her
Appreciate
journey.
that. Thank you.
And of course, it is her journey, her personal journey, combined with this intergalactic
Yeah.
event.
Yes, no, it's a kind of a beautiful story about a relationship in the midst of a crazy space-age intergalactic, conflict. But yeah, that was the intent, to try to for me, growing up and loving the Transformers in the '80s, I love those cartoons. I thought they were fantastic. To try to honor the spirit of that, which is, to me, it evoked a sense of discovery and wonder and magic, and blend that with some of those great '80s coming-of-age stories, like like E.T. and Goonies and Back to the Future, things like that. To really have that spirit. I mean, for me, those were great movies growing up with. They evoked a sense of wonder and laughter and tears, and had a strong beating heart at the center of it. And that's what I wanted this film to have as well.
That's what you want in a film that is sci-fi and really extends your imagination. You want the human heart there, exactly as you say. Now, for Hailee, it presents two challenges. One, working with things that you can't see, and another is working intimately with humans from the heart. So how did you help her in those two very different efforts?
Well, I mean, I was very fortunate that she's extraordinarily talented.
Isn't she?
She's absolutely amazing. I remember my very first meeting with Paramount and the producers about this movie. I said it has to be Hailee Steinfeld at the center of this movie. She was the only person I could think that could do the role justice. And when she agreed to do it, I was thrilled, because I knew at least one part of the movie was going to be good. And she's great. I mean, she was a joy to work with. I mean, she had never done anything like this before. Essentially theater of the mind stuff. There's nothing there. She's acting against thin air. And so she has to give this beautiful, layered, authentic, emotional performance against nothing. And the robot didn't come later until we were in visual effects land, months and months later.
So do you hold up a mop for her to look at?
Yeah, there's a number of tricks you do. I mean, I storyboarded all that stuff out to make sure that she knew what the robot was going to be doing at any given moment. We talked all these things through. Sometimes we'd have an ex-circus performer on stilts kind of walk around the set, so she would know basically where he was and about how tall he would be. But in the end, she has to create this beautiful performance with nothing there, and it's incredibly impressive what she's able to do.
It's so cool, and what you've done is amazing too, because the Transformers can be sort of mechanical in a way, but this is not. It is so intimate, and you see that. I mean, it's a silly thing to say, love is in the air always, and you just have to find it, even if it's a Volkswagen.
Right.
Well,
no, I mean, it was, I wanted to tell a story that, had all the great aspects for me with the Transformers, which is the great action and the fights and the speed chases and all that cool stuff, but that really had a tender heart at the center of it. And those are the stories that really matter to me, and that's what mattered to me about this movie more than anything else, was making sure that relationship worked.
And I love the fact that it is set in the '80s, that it is sort of old school tech.
Yeah.
It was just so nostalgic.
Yeah. I mean, we as much as we could, we try to capture all that stuff in camera, like you would have shot it in the '80s.
Wow.
And of course, we availed ourselves of great technology to bring the robot to life. But as much as we could, we tried to shoot everything in camera.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And I know you've got a real fondness for the old tech.
I do.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I've worked in stop motion for over 20 years, and that's as old tech as you can get.
That is so cool. Well, keep up the fight.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks
Appreciate
so
that.
much.
Cheers.